Hello viewers, I am Will Keith, and I figure that since I'm getting an influx of new viewers, it would be a good idea to make a video on what exactly makes up a decent katana, and show you exactly what I mean when I say full tang and the basics of what carbon steel is. So we have here a basic katana, and this is what I would consider a good katana. It's solidly constructed, and I'm going to show you exactly how I can tell that. When you remove the hilt, which is called suka in Japanese, it's Tsuka, you should end up with something like this. See how the tang is almost the full width of the blade? This is exactly what you're looking for when you have a katana. Yet there's no welds under here, it's just one solid piece of steel. And that means very good construction, it's not going to bend or break. This is exactly what you want. And the problem is, when you buy swords that you don't know exactly what they are or who you're getting it from, you could end up with not exactly this, which is definitely a bad thing. If you buy a sword for like $10, $20, you buy one from a flea market, you are almost definitely going to end up with this. God, I hate these. This is called Rat Tail Tang. It obviously looks like the tail of a rat. And you can also tell the sukas here, they're very badly wrapped and just generally shitty all around. It's pretty easy to tell when you're looking at it, but there are some nuances to the whole thing. What you want to look for specifically are these. These are called maguki. These are the bamboo pegs that secure the tang into the suka. And now you look at this one back here, you can see the holes where they go. We go back to this one and zoom in a bit. You can see one here and one there. And these, when you want to disassemble the katana, you can just hammer them out and pull the suka off, and there you go, you end up with this. But the sucky thing is, there are some manufacturers who sell cheap fake blades that actually fake these by just putting little like wooden sticky spots on each side, which will fool the untrained eye, and you might still end up with something like this. And that really sucks. It's obviously false advertising. That's just really crappy thing for somebody to do, to sell swords like that. People are going to try swinging them. They're going to end up breaking them, hurting themselves, hurting somebody else. So the only way to be absolutely certain that you have a proper katana is to disassemble it and make sure you end up with this. Because these, while usually that's a good tell, it's not always reliable. There are some good fakes out there, and that's kind of sad. But another thing is, you want to always make sure you're buying from a trusted manufacturer. You buy something from Musashi, Masahiro, Cold Steel, Ryuman, you're going to end up with something good, one way or another. You can definitely trust those manufacturers and a bunch of others. And another easy way to tell would just be send me an email or a YouTube message asking me for a recommendation if you're looking to buy a katana, and I'll make absolutely sure you get something good that fits within your budget. And about that budget, you should not be spending less than $60 on a katana. Anything under that, you can get a katana that's going to be functional within reason for $30, not under that. But $30 and up, yeah. But I definitely would recommend not buying a katana for anything under $60. So that's pretty much the lower limit for what a proper budget for a katana could be. For $100, you can get something absolutely fantastic, but $60 will do the job if you're just looking for a backyard cutter or good display piece that will function when you need it. And now let's go over to carbon steel. I'm just going to read the basic outline of this, and my recording software is kind of blocking off the right on it. Carbon steel is a metal alloy, obviously. It is a combination of two elements, iron and carbon. Other elements are present in quantities too small to affect its properties. Steel with a low carbon content has the same properties as iron, soft but easily firmed. As carbon content rises, the metal becomes harder and stronger, but less ductile and more difficult to weld, which doesn't really matter, as a proper katana should not have any welds on it whatsoever. And now, high carbon steel, which is what you're looking for when you're buying a katana. Very strong, used for springs, swords, and high strength wires. And the funny thing is, I just edited swords in there myself for this video, and I'm gonna leave it. It's the truth. Might be a bit random on the Wikipedia page, but it's the truth. And now, trace impurities of other various elements can have a significant effect on the quality of the resulting steel. Trace amounts of sulfur make the steel red shirt, which is a fault. The steel is brittle and crumbly. So a high carbon steel katana, it's got to be made from relatively pure steel, or it's going to end up badly constructed. which you don't got to worry about that much when buying from trusted suppliers. That's not a problem. The red shirt thing, that's not something you got to look out for. You're not going to get a katana that's like that. So that's not really anything to think about. Now, the problem is, cheap manufacturers selling swords 10, 20 bucks, they make swords out of stainless steel, which is a perfectly functional steel when you're talking about knives less than 12 inches. But over 12 inches, they get brittle, they can snap, they can bend a bit. It's not as bad as some other steels and metals that cheap sword makers make them out of. But you definitely do not want a stainless steel katana that's just going to end up broken. Some make swords out of iron, which is generally bad. I mean, they made iron swords in history, and they were decent for what they were used for, but with modern technology, iron's just not a way to go. If you get a katana that's made out of a really bad type of metal, you can end up with something like this, which obviously is just absurdly terrible. I apologize for the low resolution. It's the best image I could find of this example. When I was about 15, I bought my first ever katana at a flea market, like lots of other people do. And I had no idea what I was talking about back then. I have half an idea what I'm talking about now. I just know the basics. But I got my first katana, and this is what it ended up like, just like this. And so that went in the garbage, and that's when I started learning my shit and bought a proper carbon steel katana about a year after that. Another problem you can have is this. This is with the rat tail tangs, just snaps right there when you swing it, hit something with it. If you don't know what you're swinging and you try to hit a bottle with this, it's likely not going to be sharp. It's going to send the bottle flying. It's going to snap at the hilt. Blade's going to go flying. While it might not be sharp, it still has a point on it. It can definitely hurt somebody. So unless you're absolutely positive you have something like this, do not swing the sword. Do not try to cut anything with it because it's just going to end badly. Look for the Maguki. If you can, make sure you disassemble it to this. See, all you got to do is take a little hammer and some kind of pick. You can pound these out, pull the hilt off. You can make absolutely certain that you have a proper blade. There are katana deconstruction videos on YouTube already. I guess I could make one too, but I'm not going to do that right now. If you just search how to disassemble a katana, you'll find plenty that will probably explain it the same way I can. So, I guess that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.